With just 3 rounds to go, 3 men are vying for the V6 Eurocar title. Yorkshire Terrier Stevie Hodgson has headed the table for most of the year, but Middlesex man Mark Willis is edging ever closer. And it would be dangerous to discount another Yorkshireman and former world stock car champion Peter Faulding, who lies third. Castle Combe offered something of a new experience for most of the Eurocar drivers who, like Faulding, were reared on small ovals.
It's very demanding, you've got to be alert, very fast, and all the corners are fast. I think it'll be really interesting in where people are going to overtake, whether they'll be diving to just take the chance and whether there's going to be some crashes, I just don't know.
Faulding was the only one of the top 3 in the first V6 race. With an entry too large for all to race together, the drivers are split into 3 groups, each then having 1 race against the other 2. A draw decides which group they're in and which row they start from on the grid. The order is then reversed for their second race. Mark Willis drew yellow 1, the front row for race 2, while Stevie Hodgson came out in the same group, right at the back, but on pole for the third race. Race 1, and Faulding was back on row 7 for the rolling start, knowing that to gain an advantage over his 2 rivals, he would need to find a way through, and quickly. But almost immediately a gap opened ahead of him. This wasn't to be an instant charge to the front. Into Quarry, Tick Stewart leads Shane Bland with Jason Hunn on the outside as they scramble through Castle Combe's tightest corner. Down towards Tower, and this time Hunn's on the inside and grabs second place from the 18-year-old Bland. Starting lap 2, Stewart protects the inside line into Folly, but Hunn just drives round the outside to take the lead. Faulding had got up to 8th, despite the distraction of a dancing windscreen wiper, but on lap 4 at Tower, Chris Dawkins slipped inside and pushed him back 1, not what he wanted. Hunn was also under pressure, and Bland thought he saw a gap. Bland now led, but he soon came under pressure from Paul Sheard, up from 12th on the grid. And a mistake at Old Paddock sent him grass-cutting at over 100 miles an hour, gifting the lead and ultimate victory to Sheard. On the same corner, on the same lap, Tony Paxman ran wide at the apex, allowing Faulding through without drama into 6th. But that was as far as he would get as Sheard celebrated an excellent win ahead of the hard-charging Bland, who wasn't going to end up on Hunn's Christmas card list.
Maybe it's his, I don't know, maybe it's his youth, maybe it's just where it's too dark of eyes and you can't see what's going on, but he turfed me off and he was well in control of the race there. He's bent a fair bit of suspension on the front and they'll get it back and they'll have a look, but I've got to get out in the truck there.
In the pickup truck race, Jason was standing in for his father Ricky, who was racing elsewhere. Ricky's success at the last round meant Jason had to start at the back, but he wouldn't be there for long. Into Quarry on the first lap, and Alan Pendry received a Bland-like tap from Tony Proctor and is left a sitting duck for Kevin Clark to hit as the rest of the pickup scatter in avoidance, and Hunn emerges in an amazing 6th place. Lap 3 and Stewart leads from Alistair Lane, then Proctor under pressure from Jeff Simpson and the ever-improving Hunn. Down Farm Straight, Simpson moves inside Proctor and Hunn switches to his right to follow him through. Proctor sees the first of them, but not the second. Not a good day for Jason, nor for Tony. Stewart held the lead for 6 laps before Simpson passed him, and then Lane demoted him further with a wild move that put him on the grass, back on the tarmac, and into the meadow. He recovered to finish 6th, which meant he started near the front of the second race, while incredibly Hunn managed to get his car repaired, but as a non-finisher had to start from the back again. Not that that deterred him though, because from the rolling start he was up to 5th by Folly and 2nd into Quarry behind Stewart. By Folly on lap 2, he was in the lead. After 2 crashes, maybe Jason was going to win for once. Not that Stewart had given up. But 2 laps later at Quarry... Haven't we seen this somewhere before? It was left to race 1 winner Jeff Simpson to dash Jason's hopes as he slipped inside on the run up to Old Paddock, just as he had with Proctor, and left the Essex man with no choice but to settle for second. He had another chance to win in the second V6 Eurocar race, but he started near the back, just ahead of series leader Stevie Hodgson. Winning for either of them from there would be difficult, whereas for Mark Willis, a front row start should mean a hatful of points. Into Quarry on lap 1, and he's alongside poleman Paul Eaton, but can't get by. Still second at the end of the lap, and he's got Graham Miller sitting in his slipstream and then jinking out round Folly to take the place. Now Sheard is on top of him into Quarry, and he slides wide, letting Sheard through on the inside. Points are slipping away. Hodgson, meanwhile, was making steady progress from the back. 4 places on lap 1 and another couple out of Old Paddock on lap 2 to reach 10th. Sheard, though, was unstoppable at Castle Combe, past Eaton to take the lead on the 3rd lap and head for another victory, the first double for over a year. Behind him, life was a bit more exciting, especially when Miller found himself spewing oil from a broken union, causing a whiteout for Willis and the others following. Miller's teammate Andy Charlesley suffered most. Running behind Willis, he slid off the track and lost 4 places before recovering. Everyone else made it through relatively unscathed. Hodgson gained 3 places in the melee, but soon found himself under pressure from Charlesley. Charlesley managed to move ahead, and then, as he made a move on Chris Ayling, fended off Stevie's retaliation. On the last corner of the last lap, Charlesley finally forced a gap open, and Hodgson followed him through, inching past Ayling at the line to beat him by 100th of a second for 6th place and an extra 10 points. On such trifles can hang one's destiny. Willis struggled for 8 laps to pass Eaton, but no one could touch Sheard, his rare double giving him an outside shot at the title.
I've really enjoyed the weekend. I would never have thought we would have been this competitive. It's brilliant, really just what we needed, a real tonic for the championship.
1 race each and the points gap is down to just 80. The question is now, can Hodgson win from the front? And how far can Willis make up from the back? And Mark had a suspension tweak to help his cause.
We had a little bit of understeer that one, so we're just softening it up a little bit on the front, try and get a bit more turning, especially now starting at the back with the traffic. You know, I want to be trying to weave in and out if I can, so I don't want to have too much understeer.
While Hodgson was relying on strategy.
I think basically if I can get into the lead, I'll just go